welcome everyone to the Mayor and Council meeting of the Borough of PEAPACK and Gladstone. Tonight is October 14th, 2025. It is now 7 o'clock p.m. and I'd like to call this meeting to order. I apologize, I'm getting over a cold, so if you can't hear me, please say something. I'll do my best to speak aloud. Stephanie, we have a recorder on, right?
Yeah.
Would you please read the sunshine notice?
Sure. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of the 2025 meeting date was published in the Courier News and Burgersville News on December 26, 2024, and posted at the municipal complex. Action may be taken.
Thank you. May I please ask everyone to put your phones on Do Not Disturb if you haven't done so already, and then please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stephanie, a roll call vote when you're ready.
Sure. Councilwoman Murphy? Here. Councilman Portello?
Here.
Councilman Silva?
Here.
Councilwoman Sueda? Here. Councilwoman Weibel? Here. Mayor Corleano?
Here. Here, let the record also show that Stephanie Soulis is with us as our deputy clerk, and attorney Steve Warner is with us as our attorney. We'll start out with public comments on non-agenda items. So this is an opportunity for those residents who wish to address the council on items that are not on our agenda. So if you're here to speak to us, please come to the microphone. Name and address first, please, and then 3 minutes per person.
How's everyone? Bill Simpson, Mendham Road, Gladstone. First of all, I want to thank you all for your service. Don't get much of that around here, but I do appreciate it. And now I'm going to annoy you about something I annoyed you about just 9 months ago. The county has got a very nice bunch of money available for our trails system. And we have been trying to build a couple of bridges over a little creek for about 20 years. And this is looking like we might have a shot. So there is a trails fund available, right, Mark? I'm trying to find out. Well,
we have set aside each year for the past 4 years.
Right. So I'm wondering how much money is in that fund. Is that divulged to me?
If you give me a second, I can tell you, or I can give you a rough number now.
Rough numbers.
Rough number, I'm going to say $160,000.
Up to $160.
Yeah.
Because the county probably is going to be willing to match what we can come up with. Yeah. And how about open space money? Some of that might be available for this project?
It could be, if the council votes that way, yes.
Okay. That's really all I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
We have a resolution on that, if you stay that long, to submit an application for that, as you may know.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And anyone else for a non-agenda item? Seeing none, I'll close the non-agenda item portion of the meeting. If you're looking at one of our agendas, you'll see I have a presentation listed by the Cub Scouts for a proposal to use the scout cabin. I got a call last night from one of the those individuals presenting tonight. The Cub Master had to head out of town on business. He could not be here tonight, so they'll be visiting us at a future meeting. So they asked to cancel. So instead, I'm going to move on to a presentation. We have with us the esteemed superintendent of our school district, the Somerset Hills School District. Brian Brochol is with us tonight, and he is going to be speaking to us on a capital program that the school district is looking to implement.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I want to thank the council here for allowing us and indulging me the opportunity to speak to you briefly tonight. I know that you all have a busy and robust agenda, so I don't intend to monopolize too much of your time, but I wanted to spend some time with you all as a courtesy as one of the entities that sends kids to us to give you an update on the district with some of our, how are you? With some of our plans. I also have two of our representatives from PEAPACK Gladstone Ms. Cooper is a board member, and Ms. Santora is a board member as well. So they were elected to serve the folks here, and they do a terrific job in my estimation. So I just want to thank them for your service and thank you for everything that you do. And behind them is Mr. Ligori, who serves as our business administrator. And when he's not doing that, he's also an elected official in his town. So it's great to be around all these folks. Mayor Mark was one of the very first people that I met when I started here. I'm in my third year, and he was one of the very first people. I met him in this building, and I knocked on the door, and I had an appointment with him, and I asked, if I could speak with the mayor, and he said, "That's me." And I said, "That's great." Like, I didn't expect him to answer the front door to be the guy greeting, and we just kind of hit it off. And I find him to be a great thought partner, a great friend, and certainly a great steward for the good people here. So I wanted to thank you for your friendship and your advocacy for the school district. So we have a.
So let me say that I have a little bit of an up on what you're going to hear tonight. I was down to Brian's office and I heard him and Mr. Ligori a longer version of this presentation that you're going to hear tonight about capital needs in the school district. And of course, I don't want to see taxes go up, and none of our taxpayers want to see taxes go up. But their plan here, and I'm an accountant by training, and it's my career working in finance for the most part, made a lot of sense to me. So I ask everyone to please listen to everything he has to say.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. To kind of lead with the end in mind, the school district is planning to have a public vote to include the folks from PEAPACK Gladstone. And the public vote is to authorize the boards, the superintendent, and the business administrator to increase or to raise a bond sale in order to bring in $38 million additional dollars to the district in order to complete some capital projects and some capital improvements. We do have an opportunity here that's a bit unique in the area of school finance. That opportunity is essentially we have some debt falling off of our books, and we're looking to replace that debt in order to enhance our facilities and to enhance the quality of our infrastructure and certainly the quality of our programs. The folks in PEAPACK Gladstone send their students, if they elect to, and they're eligible for our pre-K program all the way up through grade 12. So they're your home district throughout, if that's what you choose to do. We are looking to work with our architect, and we sought to work with our architect to identify and to prioritize areas of need inside of our district, from inside of our capital program to examining our safety protocols, to examining all of the different academic offerings that the students are available to. We do have expiring debt, which essentially, if the communities authorize it, does result in a net neutral transaction where we have expiring debt that we're going to replace at no additional cost to the PEAPACK Gladstone taxpayers. So by raising these monies, we will be able to enhance our programming at all of our different facilities. And I want to speak to you a little bit about that, but I also want to speak to you about the process that we took. Certainly when you're examining your own physical plan and your own community, you don't sort of just pull out of thin air, and we sought to take a pragmatic approach. Shortly after I arrived in the district, the board was really open at understanding what my feedback is regarding the state of the district, the state of the facilities in this case, and the way that we leverage our professional services around our facilities. They did authorize me to go out and seek architectural services. We had an architect of record, and we sought to have a different perspective. And the board was very supportive of that. We appointed Solutions Architecture as our architect of record. And what they did for us first was they dove into an audit of all of our district facilities and really examined from top to bottom, from the roofs to the basements to the floors and everything in between, in order to arrive at logical, rational conclusions in order to determine what was in our best interest at not only increasing our infrastructure, but also increasing the quality of our programs. You see, we believe that our job here in the district is to prepare kids in safe and secure environments for careers that may not even exist yet. And we sought to develop a program that merged infrastructure with innovation. And so we feel that in the summer of 2024, we were able to take a really deep dive into that fall around a facilities audit. Late last fall and into early last winter, we were able to really kind of drill down and evaluate what our needs were. Ultimately, we were able to make some recommendations through our regular public meetings process around what we feel would best serve our facilities, best serve our students, and best serve the goals of, again, preparing kids in safe and secure environments that for careers and opportunities that may not even exist yet. So we did authorize a new long-range facility plan, which is a long-term, a long-term commitment and a long-term document that outlines all of the different desires of the board, and ultimately we move forward with a specific set of projects that we eventually made an application to the New Jersey Department of Education for approval on. So that's kind of a little bit of the context of how we got here. At the same time, we have as a function of our budget, what we do every school year is we adopt a budget. A budget is a tentative spending plan, and annually we go through an auditing process. And at the end of our auditing process, you do have some money left over. And what the board does, at my recommendation, is every spring they will authorize a deposit into our capital reserve account. And we have been paying and funding projects out of our capital reserve account since I've been here. We have replaced the artificial turf field, football field, soccer field. We play lacrosse there, field hockey. We have replaced the track on that same facility. We've replaced the media center at the middle school. We have put in athletic lighting at the high school. We have enhanced our lower fields, our baseball and softball programs, field hockey as well through that capital reserve account. And so we've been able to do our best to keep up. The rub on the capital reserve account is you don't get a discount from the Department of Education. There's no state aid on items that we choose to pay for out of capital reserve. But over time, we've been able to finance and to fund and support different areas of facility enhancement through our capital reserve account. So all of the athletic items that I spoke about, we've also done 2 years worth of lighting and sound improvements inside of our Performing Arts Center that have certainly gone a long way. We're in the process of a two-year process to enhance and improve the tennis courts at the Polo Grounds facility up on CD Drive in Burnsville as well. So those have been projects that we've tried to kind of address and tick off through our capital reserve account. But capital reserve doesn't grow and grow and grow. You want to utilize that money to upkeep your facilities. So there's a kind of defined set number of how much we keep in capital reserve and how much we choose to allocate on a year-to-year basis. The capital reserve only kind of gets you so far. kind of gets like the absolute most pressing issues. Our priorities through this referendum, you'll see throughout all three schools increased and fully renovated science laboratories. High school, middle school will have renovated science laboratories. Bedwell has no real science and engineering facilities, and we will be constructing one out of a pre-existing classroom on our main level. And we feel that is such a critical pathway to developing the next generation of scientists, the next generation of engineers, and frankly, the next generation of creative problem solvers. We don't currently have a dedicated facility for that. So you'll see throughout our intentions, there's a heavy emphasis on science, on technology, on engineering, and robotics throughout all three schools. The media center at our elementary school, Bedwell, was an area of priority for us to be able to enhance as well. You'll see kindergarten classroom renovations. You will see security renovations, particularly at Bedwell, with the construction of a dedicated security vestibule, in addition to what we have now. In the area of college and career preparation, the high school has a dedicated space for culinary arts, which is certainly an area in what we call college and career technical education, CTE for short. That was a very important focus of the board and is spoken to in this plan, because again, we want to prepare kids for colleges and careers that may not exist yet. Our visual arts classrooms are also going to be renovated. Across the district, we have a very firm understanding that our absolute number one non-negotiable priority is to have facilities that are safe, facilities that are secure. So there's infrastructure inside of this referendum to support camera technology and other types of security upgrades that are, again, non-negotiable. Particular lockdown capabilities on all of our doors and hardware. Ballistic film on all first level, ground level classrooms in every window inside of the district. There is particular roofing, sections of roofing in each of our facilities that we are seeking to maintain as well, in addition to replacing our building-wide fire alarm systems, adding some bleachers in the lower gym at Bernards High School. And if any of you in here went to Bernards High School, you may recognize the bleachers that are in there now, because you probably sat on them when you were in school. So we need to really upgrade them from a compliance perspective as well. So high level of our high level priorities are important to underscore. The high school, in addition to its STEM work, will also see a renovated television studio, renovated podcasting and radio broadcasting studio. The kids at the high school have a high level of interest in these types of programs. They've gone off and started their own in random spaces in classrooms that they can pull out during lunch. They're doing outstanding things in the area of podcasting. And actually, Mr. Simpson's son just won a very, very big award for a particular podcast that he broadcasted. So kids are taking advantage of this. There's a high level of interest in media and creating your own content, and we would like to upgrade our spaces there to provide that to them. The middle school has spoke a lot about our science labs and our roofing replacements, and certainly they will also receive security system enhancements and upgrades. It's not a referendum unless we talk about the finances, right? So from a high level, we're looking to raise a total of $38,024,257. We are eligible for around 33% state aid. Okay? That's an important point because when we finance things through our operational budget, we are eligible for 0% state aid. Right? So this is an opportunity for the state to participate in our capital projects, whereas if you do it on an annual basis, there's not an option for state aid. So we are anticipating at the time of our submission state aid in the amount of $12,578,787. That means that the final cost after debt service aid for this particular ask of the community is $25 million. It'd be great if it was 25,000, right? 445,470. So that is what the community will be asked to think about. That's what the community will be asked to consider, and that is what the election question, the ballot question, will ask them to consider. So if you are and you guys all are residents of PEAPACK Gladstone, we have the average assessed home at $956,693. We work very closely with the mayor's office here in determining our average assessed home. And there will be no the current tax impact will not increase. So we are calculating our current debt service aid through the New Jersey Department of Education, and we are projecting a 4% interest rate over 20 years with that. So some questions that often come up is if you can you bond, if you bond for $38 million, can you do more than $38 million worth of projects? And the short answer is not under this funding. So you can elect to add on to your particular projects to your capital reserve. Second question that comes up a lot is, are we bonding for $38 million or are we bonding for 25? And the short answer is you bond for the full $38 million, and then we will receive debt service aid over a 20-year period. So what happens in school finance is late February every year, we receive what's called our state aid notification from the Department of Education. And they will include our debt service aid in that annual notification, and we will build that into our budgets. So you bond for the full amount at the vote, and then over a 20-year period, you receive what we call debt service aid. That debt service aid will amount to approximately $12 million. Is what we're projecting. We have some options here regarding a senior freeze program, which is a question that comes up fairly often. And if residents in PEAPACK Gladstone are members of the New Jersey Senior Tax Freeze Program, if the bond referendum passes, your taxes remain the same. So whether it passes or not, there's no additional tax for folks in the senior freeze program. We have a dedicated website. On our website, on the back here is some access to a QR code for further information. We've started, because our vote isn't until March, we've started with small group presentations, and I've just been going around to small folks like this group and speaking in kind of high-level terms about what our intentions are. We do have 3 nights scheduled, one in November, one in December, and one in January for the full community to come out and learn more. We've been out at some community events. We've been out again with small groups, and as a courtesy, I wanted to introduce myself to you all because I haven't as of yet, and I apologize for my lateness here. But I also wanted to give you a courtesy as to what we would be presenting out to the community and kind of give you the some context. So With that said, I do certainly thank you for your time and for your consideration, and we will, like I said, be reaching out to the great residents here in PEAPACK Gladstone and be inviting them in for in-person, larger in-person sessions, and certainly they will be availed of information regarding what the board is asking for. But at the end of the day, we sought to take advantage of an opportunity of replacing expiring debt with new debt in order to maintain the quality of our facilities and ensure that every single kid is put in the position to prepare themselves for colleges or careers of their choosing, and to be able to excel at that next level. So that's my story, Mr. Mark, and I'm sticking with it. And I appreciate your time.
Any questions for Brian? Any questions from our residents?
Yeah, absolutely. So is any of this funding going towards anything like gender studies or any other woke ideologies?
No, so this is a particularly capital.
So when we were talking about sort of like programs and whatnot, there's no influence on sort of like outside educational programs beyond like the engineering and the science?
Culinary arts is a new program that we don't currently have, and we'll renovate a space for that. So
does that require a new building, or is that just reutilization?
It's a reutilization of current space.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Two quick questions. Is this going to be on the ballot in November?
And no, it's on the ballot in March. So we're having a special election on March 10th.
Okay, so if I understood you right, we're going to be putting about 25 of the 38 million?
Yes.
Give or take?
And so what happens is you get a debt service aid from the department.
I think I followed that. So then how is the 25 million funded? So our taxes would rise.
So what's happening is we're removing debt and replacing it with new debt. So it's a tax neutral transaction.
Okay, because then you mentioned seniors who would not get a tax increase.
If they're in the senior freeze program, there's not an addition to their taxes aren't impacted. If they're involved in the New Jersey senior freeze program, it's called.
Really, nobody's expecting a tax increase.
That would be correct. But that's a particular question that I received from parents at school.
Nice presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's be clear, just to be clear, there could be increases on your operating budget, which could increase the school taxes, but no more than usually the cap of 2%.
That's correct.
However, just to be clear to Mr. Simpson's question, the taxes would not increase as a result of the capital improvement projects that the school district is going to do.
That is correct.
And if I could just interject, that would be determined in our regular budgeting.
Yeah, as we do every year. As you do it, not we.
Yeah.
Do every year.
And you might not be able to answer this question, but any concern with the federal Department of Education, that any sort of debt service relief would be affected with changes? That's not typically.
No, that's not a function of the federal government.
Okay, that's purely state. Okay.
Correct.
I believe the program to supplement capital improvements on the school districts is funded through the New Jersey Lottery, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's one of the sources.
One of the sources, yeah.
Can all do our part then.
Yes, buy lottery tickets.
Thank you.
Yeah, one way or another.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence, for coming as well. Okay, thank you, everyone, for listening to that. It was very informative. Moving on, council, I'm going to lump old business and new business together since we have nothing listed specifically. Does anybody have anything for these two items?
No.
If not, let's move on to miscellaneous and let's discuss best practices. So it's best practices time for your information of those residents. Every year, the state issues a questionnaire to every town in the state, and we have to answer this questionnaire in it, and our state aid is based on our answers in this questionnaire. We have done a draft of the questionnaire, and we satisfy sufficient percentage of yes questions that we will qualify for a full state aid. The council has looked at this. It's approximately 60 questions. Does the council wish to discuss any of the questions or any of the answers that Olu, Nancy, and I have put together to our best practices questionnaire?
No.
Good job.
None? Okay. Do I have council consent to remit the best practices?
Yes.
For Nancy to remit the best practices by the deadline, or Olu to remit the best practices by the deadline? Okay, very good. Okay, let's move on to reading and approval of minutes. We have just one here, the regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2025. May I have a motion and second to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second. Okay, that was Jamie and Eric. And a roll call.
Sergio.
I'm sorry, Jamie and Sergio. A roll call vote when you're ready, Stephanie.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Portello.
Aye.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda. Aye. Councilwoman Weigel. Aye.
Okay. That, those minutes passed. Now we have moved on. We have one public hearing for an ordinance, 1159-2025, appropriating certain monies held by the borough for the installation of public tennis and pickleball courts. May I have a motion second to open the public hearing for ordinance 1159-2025?
So moved.
Second.
Stephanie, may I have a roll call vote to open the public hearing?
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Portello.
Aye.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda. Aye. Councilwoman Weigel. Aye.
Okay, would anybody from the public like to comment on this ordinance? See,
Is this for building the pickleball courts over here?
yes. Second reading.
What's the total cost for that?
520,000.
520,000. And we spent 300,000 on
If you have comments, please to the microphone.
uh,
Yes or no?
no, I just wanted to know how much it costs.
Anyone, any comments? Okay, may I have a motion and second to close the public hearing for this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was Eric and Jamie. A roll call vote to close, please, Stephanie.
Sure.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Portello.
Aye.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weigel. Aye.
Okay, now may I have a motion second to adopt ordinance 1159-2025?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I think that was Eric and Jill. And a roll call vote when you're ready.
Sure.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Portello.
Aye.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda. Yes. Councilwoman Weigel. Aye.
Okay, very good. Ordinance 1159-2025 is adopted and shall be published by title only in the Burnsville News in accordance with the law. Next up, we have a public hearing for the liquor license 1815-33-005-015. This is something we don't do very often, so I'll ask everyone to please bear with us. I'm going to now ask our attorney, Steve Warner, to speak on behalf of the borough with respect to this application.
Certainly, Mayor, thank you. Just to provide members of the board, members of the public, members of the governing body, members of the public, and the applicant, and applicant's counsel this evening. This is a public hearing on a plenary consumption license, liquor license number 1815-33-005-015. This is both a person-to-person transfer of the plenary consumption license from HEG Beverage LLC to ALA LLC, and I believe the individual member of that LLC who is the applicant for this person-to-person transfer is Ram Hassan Jakaj, and Hassan JK. I apologize for the mispronunciation, sir. And it is also a place-to-place transfer of the same plenary consumption license, that being from 161-163 Main Street, PEAPACK, to 89 Main Street, PEAPACK. The municipality is the initial issuing authority under the Alcoholic Beverage and Control Act for purposes of issuing and licenses, as well as transfer of liquor licenses throughout the municipality. This evening, this is a public hearing pursuant to the applicable statute and regulations. I just wanted to put on the record some items with respect to the process and the procedure that have taken place thus far, so it's clear on the record. First of all, there is a requisite 5-day notice to be provided to the applicant. That notice was provided on, bear with me, October 6, 2025, by our Borough Clerk Administrator Nancy Bretzker, by certified mail and email to the law offices of Spencer B. Robbins Esquire, who I understand to be, and I think it will be confirmed momentarily, the attorney on behalf of the applicant for this person-to-person and place-to-place liquor license transfer hearing. So I just wish to put that on the record and mark that as Exhibit 1, since we'll have documentation that is part of the record. Second, the applicant published public notice, in the Burnsville News, both on October 2nd and October 9th, 2025, for this hearing as well. And I'd ask that that be marked as Exhibit 2. Also, there was a memorandum that was issued by Corporal Paul Morris of the Borough PEAPACK and Gladstone Police Department to our Borough Administrator Nancy Bretzker, dated September 25, 2025. I'll just read the conclusion. Based on the results of this investigation, this was a background investigation for the transfer of the license. Based on the results of this investigation, no evidence was developed that would disqualify the applicant. The findings support that the transfer may proceed through the process with the Borough Administrator and Borough Council. So I'd ask that that be marked as Exhibit 3. We're almost there, I promise. As Exhibit 4, all of this was either provided to the applicant and or his counsel, or emanated from the applicant and or his counsel. We did, the borough and my office in particular, did serve on Friday, September 26th, via certified mail and email to the applicant a notice, final notice of default and demand to cure with respect to, and I will not get into all the details of it, but there was a summary of a history of violations at the subject site with respect to the subject operations at the subject site, 89 Main Street, from the fire official, the zoning official, the health officer, and the construction administrator, dealing with a variety of issues under their jurisdiction dating back from 2019 to 2025. That document was provided, that notice was provided to the applicant, and I understand to his counsel to have received it as well. It did provide, enclosed with it, details of the various violation history from the health officer, from the zoning officer, from the fire official, and from the construction administrator, and it did make a demand to cure those violations by no later than Friday, October 10, 2025, and I marked that document as Exhibit 4. And finally, I'm sorry? I said health, I'm sorry, I thought I said health officer. But yes, the 12-4. Health officer, zoning officer, fire official, construction administrator. And fifth, there were re-inspections that were done and attempted to be completed by both the zoning officer on October 10, or dated Friday, October 10, excuse me, as well as the fire official on Monday, October 13th. And let's see what counts of that. But and I'd ask that be marked as Exhibit 5. The sum and substance of that follow-up, those follow-ups were as follows. From the fire official, was asked to re-inspect on October 13th. Stopped around 5 o'clock this evening, walked around the outside of the building prior to going in, went inside, and the employees that were downstairs informed me that Martino, I believe that the reference to Martino may be a reference to the applicant recipient who is seeking the license, was not there. They reached out to him and said that he would be there in 5 minutes. I waited until 5:30 and then left as he did not show up. I still have some outstanding violations. A few were to have been abated prior, but I was unable to see if they were abated today. This is Monday. As far as Sarah Jane's violation, Sarah Jane O being the zoning officer, it looked to me like there were still people occupying the second and third floors. One of the referenced violations from the zoning officer was the understanding that there were people living on the second and third floor that may constitute a boarding house or other residential, non-permitted residential site. I was not able to get up there, but there was some activity on the second floor from what I could see. There's still a car under a tarp. Not sure if the dumpster enclosure has been repaired. The second floor has an abundance of storage in the hallways and the rooms. I've attached pictures, and there are pictures of reference to items there. All of that was also provided to the applicant and the applicant's counsel, I believe, yesterday or this morning, if I'm not mistaken. Those reports emanated on Friday and yesterday, Monday, October 13th. So I would ask that be marked as Exhibit 5, so that we've laid out procedurally the fact that this public hearing has been properly, in my opinion, noticed by both the borough to the applicant and the applicant publicizing such notice in the newspaper of record for purposes of this hearing to take place. And there is a record with respect to at least borough official violations and a history of notice, default, demands to cure, and re-inspections, and apparently, at least to some extent, to date at least, it appears not a failure to cure some, if not all, of those violations. But I will not, the documents will speak for themselves. Mayor, council, that's a predicate. Again, we are the issuing authority. This board will hear from the applicant. I will swear the applicant in. We'll hear from the applicant's counsel. Questions can be asked by the governing body. The members of the public can make comment as well. Unlike the usual meetings, when you make those public comments, I will swear you in as well, so that both your comments are under oath, which is important for everyone involved in this public hearing process, but also so that your comments have the weight of testimony, as will the applicant's testimony and anyone else speaking on behalf of the applicant. So with that, Mayor, Council, we can proceed with the public hearing, and I suspect applicant's counsel is waiting to speak since I've hogged the microphone for so long. So I will stop.
Good evening, members of the council. I'm Spencer Robbins. I'm an attorney and I represent, everybody would know him as Martino. His actual name is Ram Hassan JK. I think his middle name is Martin, but people call him Martino and he's become accustomed to it. He had the opportunity, and he's a freaking dream, if you will. He's come over and he didn't have the opportunity to go to a culinary school. He's come up the hard way, working at restaurants all across New York and New Jersey. I think there's a lot of things that people don't know about Martino, but he's worked in some of the finest establishments in New York. He's had his start at Wolfgang Puck's. He's had his start with the best steakhouses in New York, Peter Luger's. He's worked at Il Molino, which is one of the finest restaurants. So he's come up the hard way, learning how to cook in the actual places that are 5-star restaurants or 3-star restaurants. And so he comes to this town with a great abundance of background. And so he's had the opportunity to work himself up to a point that he could purchase a restaurant of his own and own it and try to build it up and try to do everything. He hustles to do it. He's a hard worker with regard to it and spends 7 days a week operating this restaurant. He bought an old building that needs a lot of work and he still continues to do work, and so there'll be some violations every once in a while, but he seems to be a member of the community, wants to work with the community, and is happy to be here. He's had the opportunity to purchase this restaurant, and he did, and he's been able to do it and successfully operate it for a number of years. He's enhanced it, made it better in every way, and he still wants to do it. He keeps presenting different scenarios to try to make it better, add more space, do more things to it. Maybe he's a little bit aggressive in his approach to it, but he wants to do well, and he wants to do things good. It's difficult to get liquor licenses because they're scrutinized, especially in a small town. There aren't many liquor licenses available. He had an opportunity to obtain a liquor license here. To do so, as I said, there are limited liquor licenses because it's just done on the number of people in town per capita. So there's not more that are being developed as far as I know. So he has the opportunity to purchase a liquor license to enhance it. It's something that he's wanted to do. He's been able to serve New Jersey wines, or have a special thing with regard to a limited wine menu, but this is an opportunity for him to expand this restaurant, to make it better. He always makes sure that the food is wonderful. He wants to make sure that he's serving the best food around, and he wants to make sure that his customers are satisfied because it's the repeat business. His restaurant isn't like a local diner with regard to it. People come from distance to come to his restaurant, and he seeks to enhance everybody's comfort when they come there. He's very social, very abundantly generous when you come there, and he tries to make sure that you have a wonderful, happy experience. To get the liquor license, he had to make an application with regard to it and go through scrutiny with regard to financial background and everything else with regard to it. He's gone through that scrutiny and he's passed with regard to it. He's done everything that he's supposed to do to get a liquor license. So I'm just dealing now with his ability to do it. He's worked in restaurants, bars. He's had the ability and he's done everything in the past, and he doesn't have any violations of an ABC that he's ever been involved with in the past. Alcohol Beverage Commission. So he has this opportunity and he wants to fulfill it so that he can expand the restaurant, do better, and make everybody's experience better. So he comes to you today requesting that the liquor license be transferred from a company that apparently thought they were going to open up a place and couldn't. So the opportunity came along, and he's been seeking this license for probably 3 or 4 years and been promised, and then finally the opportunity came where the people had to sell. So he has this opportunity, and he's asking you for your permission so that he can transfer the license and can operate with regard to it. The issues that have been presented with regard to it, first, I think we went through that we gave notice with regard to it, so that there's a meeting tonight to move ahead with regard to it. He's published, provided notice, he's accomplished everything that he's supposed to do to get the liquor license to be transferred. The issues that are now been presented are issues not related to his ability to run a restaurant, to operate a restaurant, financial abilities with regard to being a restaurateur, because that's what he's known as over. He's had that experience in these wonderful places, and he's trying to duplicate that. The time that he puts in, the work that he does, and of course, nowadays with the restaurants, tariffs, and everything else, it's difficult. People aren't going out as much. And so the cost of food, the cost of everything is much greater, and so he's hustling just to make sure that he makes everything work. And successful about it, and not cut corners. What's been presented to the board now are some issues that have been brought up with regard to health. Let's start with health. He's passed the health test. There have been some issues along the way that happen, as it does in many restaurants, but he's complied with it. One of the most important things that he would consider is health. He doesn't want anybody getting sick in his restaurant. He doesn't want anybody having an issue with any of the food, the preparation, the type of food, or anything else. And even though there have been some issues with regard to it in the past, he's always been able to pass, and that shouldn't be an issue with regard to it for the board. He purchased an older building that needs work with regard to it. And he's done some things with regard to it, and he's always tried to accommodate. Sometimes he has thoughts as to how it should be done because he thinks that he's going to expand or do other things. But he's never sought to particularly create an issue, not do anything, or not comply. He's always wanted to be a good citizen, and that's what his goal has always been. And he's worked hard at it. So he comes to you, hat in hand, to try to make sure that he can move forward in the future, have a better restaurant, a better enhancement with regard to it. And he's capable, willing, and he does all the things that are necessary and can be done. There have been some issues with regard to it. Let me address one with regard to it. Apparently, these workers work 12, 14-hour days. They're 7 days a week, some of them. They're hustling because they want to make money. They have an opportunity to do things. They're learning, and they want to move on to other restaurants. No one is living upstairs. No one is residing upstairs. Nobody is boarding upstairs. Nobody is doing any of those things. On a couple of occasions, I gather some of the workers working 14 hours a day want to take a nap or whatever it is, and they've taken the opportunity to try to take a nap with regard to it during the unbusy time. But no one's living there. No one's looking to do that. And he has impressed upon him that everybody has a perception of what goes on. Even though they're not living there because there was a mattress, people think that there are people living there. They're not doing that. He has agreed, and he will, has impressed upon him, and he's agreed that nobody will be living there, nobody will be napping there, everything would be removed with regard to it. The fire inspections with regard to it, he seems to have done what is necessary to be done and is committed to making sure it's a safe environment and that this is a wonderful restaurant, so when people go there, it's a wonderful experience. He needs it because that's the only way to make it successful. There are some issues with regard to it. He plans to make a big storage bin. He's going to be making an application so that it's enclosed, it's a bigger, nicer place. What does it take? It takes time, money. He has the effort that he wants to put in. So you have a citizen here who really wants to make sure that everything is going well there. It's inherent to him to do all this because without it, the business wouldn't operate well. He wouldn't be able to get the repeat customers. He wouldn't be able to get the work that he does and the experiences that people have. So He is dedicated to making sure everything is going to be done properly so that there are no violations, and that the violations there are not going to minimize anything. He will make sure they don't stop the restaurant from operating, they don't stop the restaurant from being a wonderful experience, they don't stop the restaurant from doing things. But he's a hard worker and he needs your help to get this license transferred so he can move on and do better and bigger things here in your town. So I'd like to introduce Martino, Ram Hassan JK, just so that everybody can see him. Would you please stand up, Martino, and just to say hello and introduce yourself? And I think the council is going to swear you in case there's any questions with regard to it.
Is it your intention to have any direct testimony from
Yes,
your
I just
client,
wanted-
or just answer questions?
We do have some direct testimony, but I'm going to make sure you go through it with him and I'll question him.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And your full name for the board and so that everyone knows how to pronounce it.
and JK,
And people refer to you as,
as a Martino.
okay. And you have experience in the restaurant business. Would you explain to the board some of the experiences that you've had? I've labeled some, but you can provide it.
As you told them, I'm going to repeat that too myself. I've been working in restaurant business since 19 years old. I come to the University of America in 1988. I started as a busboy, become a kitchen chef, and then I become a maitre d', bartender. From A to Z in restaurant business, I got through to that restaurant industry. I've been specialized to make even fresh pastas, dry steaks, meats. My meat comes from Pennsylvania, from Amish people. It's free-range chicken, seafood. I pick up myself in House Point. I try the best I can to get fresh ingredients for the customers. And
In your restaurant itself, could you explain to everybody what it is, how many seats, other things?
the restaurant, the first floor, there are 65 seat. Outside is like 75, 80 seat, and patio. Second floor used to be 50 seat restaurant. We don't use that anymore. Since COVID-19 is done, upstairs we use as storage. The stuff from the summertime for the second floor. And fire department, Steve, I think. I clean up everything, whatever he told me. Yesterday I was in Clifton, and the way I tell to Steve, it's 5 minutes, it was 15 minutes because I was in Clifton last night. It was misunderstood the way to tell Steve, and Steve left. It's all whatever Steve told me to do, I did. And if Steve comes tomorrow, he'll be very happy what I did. Fire inspector.
And is anybody
And-
living in your premises? Or
No,
boarding in?
nobody, they work those guys, they work 14 hours, they take a nap over there sometimes. And why let them take the nap? Because in the past, I worked myself 14, 15 hours in New York City, and I was so tired, and I believe that somebody work 14 hours straight, they get tired, they cannot produce, they cannot work. And I work myself in the city, I used to, in 54th Street, the medicine I used to work. I used to stay in sidewalks. I'm on the floor by the sidewalk. I used to take a nap myself in sunshine. I used to work in 54 in Madison, San Pietro restaurant. We did lunch and dinner. I used to take a nap. If I don't take that nap, I cannot work. So everybody think they sleep enough upstairs. They do not. They have a mattress on the floor, and they take a nap. Between lunch and dinner, I take a 1 hour nap, and that's it. But nobody lives up there.
And you agreed to remove those mattresses?
I will remove it. I'm gonna tell them not to stay there anymore. But I'm afraid if I tell them don't stay anymore, they're gonna leave. And how I can survive without workers?
But you understand you don't want them living there.
Okay, fine. I will remove them out. Those matches.
Right, and any garbage, what do you want to do about the garbage?
Garbage. The frame of the garbage. I was asking Sarah General to give me a shed behind the garbage to put it to order one from Home Depot, and they come, they install, so we don't need, they come install it. She said you have to go through to the zoning, but if they let me put one shed behind the frame of the garbage, if we can cover it with the stainless steel and put it as storage, one or the other, because we have so much stuff, we have to remove it from the second floor, which is storage right now. Second floor, which used to be restaurant. And it's very tight without the storage option, or to cover that garbage or in the frame, to put a platform or to put a one shed behind the garbage. So I can move the stuff away.
Now, any violations that are there, are you seeking to comply with whatever the violations are, or to remove the violations?
As far as I know, it's all violation. Steve was happy when he left. He said to me when he left, he said he did a good job. He left with the happiness. As far as I know, I don't have one violation. As far as I know. But you can double check with Steve again.
Are you asking this board to approve the transfer of the liquor license from HEG to you?
I appreciate if you guys approve it to me.
And are you the sole owner of ALA LLC and also the property and operate the restaurant?
Yes.
I have nothing further from Mr. Hassan JK.
Why don't we start with questions for either Mr. Robbins or Mr. Hassan JK from the council first, and then we'll open up to public questions and comments.
And so maybe just to be clear, and I'm sure it is to everyone, the attorney makes representations and opening statement. The only sworn testimony we've heard this evening in this public hearing is from Mr. Hassan J. Sometimes referred to by name as Martino.
Mr. Martino. Council?
Yes, I have a question. So, having been kind of part of the property committee here for quite a few years, and having copies of reports from the various agencies that have been reviewing your site, there's a few things that trouble me. When I think about the fire escape staircase being blocked and ill repair, the fire escape from the second floor, and I assume it gets up to the third floor. I haven't been back there. Is there a reason why that hasn't been cleared for safety reasons? So my biggest concerns are obviously, human safety, human health and safety. So can you elaborate on that?
As far as I know, it's clear, but Steve was not happy because I had a little small table in the morning. I had a cigarette and coffee there. He said to remove, I'll remove. It was a little small table in the second floor of the stairs. In the morning, I have a cigarette and an espresso, and then I go back to work. But Steve said, do not smoke. I said, okay, I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna remove that little table. He's not happy with that. I have a little small table, like 1 feet by 1 feet, just to leave my espresso and my ashtray there.
Okay. So your testimony is that the staircase itself is in otherwise good shape?
The staircase?
The staircase itself is in otherwise good shape?
As far as I know, is in good shape, but I did deposit $8,000 to put a stainless steel galvanized those stairs, because I like to put a new stairs.
Okay.
And I'm working on it. It's already deposited to one guy from Long Island City, from New York.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
I think the only one who occupies or goes up there is him. It's not because, I'm not making an excuse with regard to it. It should be safe, and everything should be safe all the time. But it's not that people are frequenting it, going up there, or anything else with regard to it. So, and he has taken the opportunity to redo the stairs, but it takes time and money.
And I noticed in an image that was sent by our fire official that the egress going from, if you're looking at the building, I'm sorry, I don't know my north and south, on the left side of the building, the handicap ramp is blocked by some sort of a planter.
It was this little step.
Mm-hmm.
I took that cement out and only need maybe 10 bags of cement to mix it up and put it there. And because it was a little step, and Steve told me to put a straight with the asphalt.
Mhm.
So it will be done in 2 days.
And so how long has that handicap been inaccessible?
I think it's been the same thing since he's bought the place, and nobody had ever complained about it as far as I know. And so now he's made it so that it's gonna be totally handicap accessible, meaning that that step would be removed. And to do that, you have to knock out the step, and now it can be one clean slope. So a block was put in for the time being so that people wouldn't trip over it or go through it, but he's in the process of redoing it, is what the answer is.
If I may, Mayor Council, if council wishes to hear the answers to the questions from the applicant who is under oath, council can certainly direct the questions to the applicant as opposed to this council.
If you wish, I'll ask you, could you describe what there was before and what you're doing now?
Before the little step, we remove that cement, it's gonna be flat. The reason why, because there was the trees there, and they block the access to come for handicap. By the meantime, the trees were already cut it off, we clean it up. So handicap has access to get in now. But only has maybe 5-6 feet has to be cemented and it'll be okay. No, maybe 7 feet approximately.
And have you arranged for that to be done?
Will be done in a day, 2 days.
I have another question. So, I saw in a previous report that you had put up a water pump in the stream next to the restaurant and used it to draw water into the restaurant, for my understanding, cleaning floors and so forth.
There was to put the water in the flowers, to put flowers in to clean the patio. I mean to patio.
Mhm.
Instead
And
of-
is there not water, like sewer water, town water access for the patio?
We have, but I tried to save it, to take that water from the pound to put the water in the flowers, but I told Sarah Jane or whatever, is that, no, the health inspector, I told them not to maybe use it again.
When the health inspector saw the pump coming with the hose running into the kitchen, since this subject came up, and they saw the hose going into the kitchen, and then they came back a week later and saw it still there, why wasn't it removed in that week? They went and saw it, told you to remove it, and they came back a week later and it was still there. Why was that?
It's not supposed to be there, but I do not remember it was there.
They came back a week later and found the pump and the hose still in place. Illegally drawing water from the street. And they told you to remove it.
It was removed right in the spot.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
As far as I know, it was removed.
I do have some questions. So it seems to me that some of these violations have been ongoing since 2019, close to 6 years now, ranging from uninspected vehicles on the property to simple fire violations. As of the pictures that we have, I believe they were taken on actually yesterday, October 13th. Those vehicles are still there, covered by tarps, mops, garbage by the dumpster. This is simple procedural stuff that anyone, I mean, even household members should complete. How come this hasn't been completed if you received notice? But yet you stand here today saying that for example, the sandbags or the cement bags will be completed by tomorrow. How come this wasn't addressed initially when you received the documentation of all these violations? Just wanted to get kind of your take on how come this wasn't addressed prior, and as of yesterday, October 13th, we still have pictures.
I'm waiting for the mechanic to move the car away. He's gonna fix the car right now that I'm disabled. It will be fixed those cars and then get rid of it.
Is the car licensed?
The car has insurance and cars has license plate. I do pay insurance that and I lose the car.
And what about the garbage? Outside of the garbage dumpster on the ground, all over the ground. Is that common practice, or it just seems to me like
When in garbage, what happened to the garbage? I don't understand.
Are we allowed to show the picture?
Absolutely.
It's part of the record. And the applicant,
So for example,
the
this
the
picture,
applicant has, and the council have received it.
this picture was taken yesterday.
Oh, that's, those broken boxes, those cartons.
Yes, they are broken boxes. Yes,
There
but-
are only broken boxes, and are cartons.
And the mops and everything else, right, adjacent to it? Those are usually, the mops are usually placed outside, or those mops that are going into the garbage, or are those mops that are used in the restaurant?
That mop, that blue one, we clean the carpet. It's,
The interior carpet.
yeah, we have a mattress and the dishwasher put outside and they wash those carpets with that brush. And with that hose with the water. And those cartons, it was delivered food. They take the food away from the cartons and they put over there, and they're supposed to put it down, so they did not.
And was there also any follow-up? So we had an inspector go out to the site. I believe it was for a 5 o'clock meeting, which you were contacted. Was there any follow-up after that missing the meeting that was scheduled ahead of time? Meaning, did you reach out or seek out anyone here at the borough regarding missing that appointment?
First of all, did you have an appointment with the fire inspector last
No,
night?
I did not have an appointment.
And after you realized that you didn't meet up, did you catch up with him or try to contact him after that?
When he first time he did the inspection, next time he come in, he left happy. He said to me, "Thank you, you did a good job."
I'm sorry, I think, if I may, I think what Councilman is talking about.
Whatever Steve told me to do, what I did.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. The re-inspection.
Okay, yesterday, it was when the one waiter called me, he said to Steve, 5 minutes, it was 15 minutes, I was at Clifton. So,
Did you
I
have a
just-
scheduled time?
no, I did not have no appointment with him.
And then after that you didn't make it and he left at 5:30, have you contacted him since?
No,
is
I
what
did
the
not.
question is.
No, I did not contact him, but I don't have his number.
He never gave you his card.
Sorry?
He never gave you his card.
No, he gave me the card, but
You didn't have his number.
I didn't have his number. I'll contact him. After 5 o'clock, how I can contact him, how to contact him? He didn't give me his cell number.
Did you reach out to the borough today?
No, I did not.
Anyone else?
I have a comment. You're talking about how making these repairs and becoming compliant after being cited over the last 6 years and having a history of repeated issues that you were written up on. You're talking about how this all takes time and money. And yet you're applying to get a liquor license that's gonna cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to me, that's a disconnect.
I can understand that. Certain operating things, this is an opportunity that only comes around infrequently, I'll say that. It's an investment that he's had to work on, and he's been working on for 3 years to get this opportunity. As I said, there aren't a lot of liquor licenses for sale. This one, he's been pursuing for at least 3 or 4 years and finally has the opportunity. I guess it goes in stages with regard to it with operating restaurants. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's not, sometimes it gets busy. But he does what he can. It's never gonna be purpose or great. He's got a lot of work to do. He inherited a very old building. He's done incredible work on it up to this point. Things that you don't see that he doesn't have violations for, but all the improvements that he's made with regard to it. He's gone through a tremendous amount of money and effort to try to enhance the building and has hired architects, engineers with regard to it to try to enhance it, which would eliminate a number of these issues that are going on. But his thoughts have been sort of aggressive to do it. He wanted to really expand big and try to do something more, and it hasn't been able to be fulfilled. So he hasn't got approvals for it. So yes, on some days it's going to be less than when an opportunity comes around that takes years to develop. It takes an effort to go ahead and buy the liquor license at a great expense.
Can I interject for a moment and ask a question?
Sure.
When did you first apply for the application to acquire the liquor license?
Sorry?
When did you apply for the application to acquire the liquor license?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I can answer that question. I think it's stamped July 12th.
So between July 12th and now, knowing you were coming in front of this body, knowing the numerous violations over the last 6 years, you didn't think it best to try to clean that up before addressing this body? Try to be in good standing with this community?
I didn't know I have a relationship 6 years ago.
It's been ongoing for 6 years.
I did not know that.
We've had reports, our various health officials, provided us reports from as far back as 2019 of violations, some of which you complied and resolved, some fines that you paid. But it does seem as though there's been a fairly lengthy history of multiple violations, of which many of them you don't address in a timely fashion. It doesn't seem to be a real priority. So what I think Councilman Cortello is indicating is you knew you were coming in front of us, you knew you had all these things going on with the facility. To see some of the relatively simple things not completed as requested, to me, implies a lack of respect for the rules, right? The rules, the regulations, the various ordinances that are not being followed at your facility, the restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
To address some of those issues, I think he's done a lot to improve the place. He's made changes with regard to it. He's addressed them. New things come up with regard to it. He addresses them. He addresses them the way he thinks they're supposed to be addressed. Sometimes it doesn't work out. He doesn't meet the expectations of the officials. It's not out of disrespect. It's not out of ignorance. It's not out of negligence with regard to it. Sometimes he believes that it's done right, and as he says, he walks away and he has a perception that everything is fine, and then something is, no, that's not what he wanted to do. Or it takes him longer to get to it because he didn't think that's what was the most important thing at the time, but it's been an improvement ever since he purchased the place. And it's been great strides to improve it, to make it what it is, and that it's a wonderful place and restaurant to go to, and I think people in the community love to go to. I mean, you don't get this type of food and this product and this effort that he puts in most restaurants. And to get it successful, to start off with almost nothing to get to this point, where he has the opportunity to develop it even further. I think you have an individual who is seeing the light with regard to it. He knows he needs to do more. He's willing to do it, and has the ability to do it. And he has the credentials to do it, and he's gone through the scrutiny to do it.
Why hasn't he done it?
He has done things along the way. Are there new things that come up? Are there new problems with regard to it? Yeah. If you go through the list and everything else that I have, and I've gone through them with him, and he believes that they've been done or that somebody had worked on it or he's working on something to fix it or do anything, these aren't thoughts that he's not going to comply. He's not going to be a good citizen. He doesn't want to sit there and get fined. He doesn't want violations. He doesn't want to have a bad reputation. Sometimes it comes across that he didn't do it quickly enough. He didn't do this what it's supposed to be. He has this bigger plan for this, and so some of the things were put on back burners with regard to it because he wanted to expand. He wanted to put a roof on. He wanted to develop the patio. He wanted to do a number of things. Didn't work out with regard to it, but again, these aren't things to limit him from having a liquor license. He's done everything to make sure nobody complains about the place, that it's out, loud hours, difficult times, bad issues with regard to it. Wants to be a good citizen. Sometimes things don't go the way they're supposed to. I'm not going to say that he's always been terrifically compliant and everything else, but it's not because he didn't want to be, or that he doesn't character or is disrespectful. No, he works too hard. His whole life, his family is involved in this. And all they care about is running a great restaurant, putting out a great product, working hard to locate the source of the food. Got a good citizen here. He's working hard. He deserves the chance to fulfill his dreams.
Anybody? Mr. Robinson, let me ask you a question. First of all, I appreciate your optimism and I appreciate very much how you present, and I respect how you present things. So let me address the two of you on this. This borough is business friendly. We want to see business succeed here. It helps our borough, and we like that. At the very same time, people who come to our town to dine, including our own residents, expect this borough to enforce that our restaurants, that any business here that serves food and drink is kept to a standard. And they expect this borough to maintain that standard. That falls on us. It falls on our construction, our health, our fire, our zoning, standard, and various safety efforts. Unfortunately, you are seeing this from, I would say, a certain period of time. We are seeing this, I'm going to call you Mr. Martinez because I don't wish to disrespect your last name. We are seeing this from a longer period of time. We've seen the violations dating back to 2019. I'm not going to get into details what's in some of those documents, but it's not pretty. And we've seen, yes, there's been improvements to the property, but the violations continue. And we worry about, honestly, the safety of our visitors and our residents in some cases when we hear about some of the things that we see, such as, and it did come up, I hope it didn't, but it did come up, water being pumped out of a stream to be used in some fashion in the restaurant. That's very concerning to this borough. Okay, again, people expect the borough to enforce that our establishments that serve people food and drink are kept safe. Now, you are, Mr. Martino, you are applying for a liquor license. Serving alcohol carries with it a tremendous responsibility, as I'm sure you can imagine. It is not simply a business, okay? You are responsible for maintaining age restrictions. You're responsible for cutting people off if they drink too much. You're responsible for their lives if they are not responsible for themselves. So when this council of people sitting up here do not see responsibility in maintaining your restaurant, how can they expect responsibility in serving alcohol? Okay? On September 25th, a letter was sent to you by our attorney, certified mail, listing violations that we expected to be addressed by Friday, October 10th, this past Friday. There was no, we all waited for a response from you. Okay?
I'm so sorry, I apologize.
There was no response. You demonstrated no responsibility to a very serious letter that was sent from a law firm on behalf of this borough to you. And you had an application in for a liquor license. Now let me ask you, I'm sorry, I should really be addressing you this way. I apologize for that. How do you expect this borough to consider that application in light of that? Yes, you're absolutely right. Man's trying to build a business. Man's trying to build something and do things. People do enjoy the restaurant. I don't dispute that. Okay? But you have to understand the responsibility that these people here these people here have the responsibility of maintaining on behalf of the people who live here and the people who visit here. So how do we reconcile those two things?
Number of ways. Number one, so understand he recognizes the importance of having a liquor license. This isn't a bar that serves food. This is a restaurant that serves alcohol or will be serving alcohol. So this isn't one of the things that you're worrying about. People staying there over drinking. It's not a bar that people are going to go to just to have a drink or stop by, listen to music and do things like that or watch sports. This is a restaurant that's serving high quality. It's not an inexpensive menu, but it is a full menu. The biggest issue to start with is health. Every health violation has been cleared immediately with regard to it. There is the one issue with regard to it. Yes, is it inexcusable to take water from the creek? I'm not going to say it was a smart idea. Was it, people do it to plant lawns, things like that? You can't clean things with creek water. I agree with that, and I've lectured and scolded him with regard to that. He's not doing it anymore. Why it came back the second time, I don't know. Sometimes he assigns people to do it. The violations that have been talked about is the car on the property. Is that affecting the quality of the food? No, but it's something that needs to be done to show that he's in compliance and that he's a good citizen. What about the garbage in the back? He needs to address that, and he needs to address it and spoke to Ms. Knoll to make sure that he can put in some enclosures so that it wouldn't be open, that it would be closed, that everything would be hidden. So is that cleaning up any of the violations with regard to it to make it look better? Yes. Should he remove the car? Yes, he should remove it sooner than he has. Why hasn't he? I guess it had value with regard to it, and he thought he could do something with it. These are all things that you're absolutely right. He should be more compliant and he should be on top of it. But you're going back to 2019, and most everything has been corrected during that period of time, and then new things have come up. So when you read over, there have been a number of things. Health inspections, they're going to find things, and then he corrects it. And has he? Yes. Because it's one of
I would let's look at the pictures from last night at 5 o'clock. No, they haven't been corrected. From 5 o'clock at last night, when our inspector went over, who supposedly, my understanding is he had an appointment with Mr. Martino at 5 o'clock.
No, he did
For
not
an
have
inspection. Okay?
He should correct everything. He should be more compliant so that there wouldn't be any violations and no need for anybody to go out, or when they inspect, they say, hey, it's a great place. Nobody has closed him down with regard to health. Nobody has closed him down with regard to anything else because he's putting out a great product. He's safe. People are safe when they go there. I
think you know it's very, very difficult for a borough and a borough's health department to shut an establishment down. Okay, we have to, you know what it takes. You have to go to court and have a judge issue an order. You know that. So, and that's very hard for us to do, and we try to do everything we do. We don't want to do that. We want people to come into compliance if it gets that bad. Okay? But how do we reconcile this difference? You know, it's not something, it's not good. It's not good.
I think you have an individual who is uneducated as to what he needs to do. And he has to be more serious and more diligent about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He has an opportunity here to do what most people don't have, particularly in a town such as this where they're catering to good people with regard to it. He has to recognize, and he has, and he will tell you so after my discussions with him, that he needs to be more compliant quicker, and he needs to be more diligent about everything that he does. And I think you're going to find that in him because he's dedicated to it, because his family, his life depends upon this restaurant. And he puts that much effort into it to make it what it is. And the things to correct it would not be great. Removing a car, putting in a new garbage area, changing the stairs, making the ramp okay. Does that affect the quality of the food that he produces, or the place, or the comfort, or the experience? Maybe it does, and you're right. Nobody wants disrespect. Everybody wants people to be doing. I understand because my whole life is based upon it too. And I deal with it every day in different matters and different standards for people. Don't know that people know Martino, how dedicated he is, and how important it is for him to be and run a great restaurant and have the opportunity that he has in helping people and the employees that he has. They're all dedicated to him. People love going there, but sometimes he misses the thought that he thinks he's doing it properly. And he's not doing it out of disrespect. He's not doing it that he doesn't wish to do it. He wants to be compliant. He doesn't want anybody scrutinizing him. Nobody does. And he realizes now that, you must be more diligent. You must be. Would you please describe that to them?
I will fix the problems I promised to you, and I apologize, it's not been fixed until now. From now on, will be fixed 100%. And Mayor Mark, on a couple of points, you told me you have responsibilities and liquor license. Yes, I do. When I was in the city, I was in Flushing, Queens. I have a restaurant over there. The Italian guy, people, they start to drink and they asked me for the drink. I did not give a drink. I pretended I did not hear. Meantime, I run in the kitchen. I can bring piece of cheese, piece of bread, and I give it to him compliments, not to go alcohol and empty stomach. I know liquor license is like a pistol license. You can kill you can kill people with a liquor license.
Very true.
Liquor license and pistol license, they have same level, same power. So I know how to handle liquor license very well. I was a bartender 6 years at pastels. Even a young generation, they start to drink, and I always have pretend not to give a drink, not to go on an empty stomach alcohol. So liquor license, I know how to handle it. As I said, I don't repeat myself. Liquor license and pistol license, they have the same level.
Mr. Robbins, okay with you? I'm just going to respond to your line directly.
Certainly.
Just one comment. Martino, Mr. Martino, all I'll say to you is you speak like you are responsible in that regard, okay? But it's easy to walk the walk. It's easy to talk the talk, but walking the walk is very different. And what you've demonstrated to the council by what we see here is not the same, and we need to see that. Okay?
It will be done, I promise. I apologize.
Unless the council has any further questions, I'd like to open this up to public comment. Sure. Okay? So may I have a motion and a second to open this hearing to public comment?
Second.
Jamie and Eric. And when you're ready for a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda? Aye. Councilwoman Weigel? Aye.
Okay, as a reminder to those in the audience, as Attorney Warner advised earlier, you will have to be sworn in to comment this evening. So I'd ask you to stand up, state your name and address, and Attorney Warner will swear you in, please. And then you can address the Mr. Robbins and his comment.
If you could first just give us your name and
My name is
address.
Tim Peters. I'm at 87 Main Street. I'm a neighbor to Martino.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
First of all, I'd like to say I've been neighbors with Martino for 12 years. The relationship has been good, bad, even. What I would say is I've invested a lot in my property, and like all of you, you want someone next to your property to have a nice property to raise your value. And I feel some of your sentiments, I feel that the property could be improved on the outside, and I feel that a lot of the issues that have created for me are, we've had a feral cat issue this spring because of the garbage that was open. And what that does for us is that drops bones in our gutters, and it puts feral cats all over, and it just kind of gets out of hand. No one wants Martino to be more successful than I do because it helps my property value, it helps my business, and that could be a win-win. A couple issues I have outstanding with Martino right now is I have cars that sit in my parking lot that just sit there, and they don't move. And this is something we talked about. When I ask him to move them, he says he will, but they don't move. So those are the type of things that I encounter with my neighbor. I would say he does work hard. I would say I'd like to see him be successful, but I do feel there's things that he could do to really help improve that relationship and pick things up a little bit. And those are my comments to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Okay, anyone else for public comment, please? Please. Hi.
Hi,
Your name and address, please.
Maria Nadell, 1 Windsor Lane, Gladstone, New Jersey.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
I just think that the fact that he's made it through COVID when so many restaurants have closed. I was involved with the liquor license initially. The person that owned the liquor license was a dentist that I knew who's deceased now. And the partners went out of business. They owned a little restaurant that was around the corner, Lime, I think it was called Lime? Sublime. And I knew that there was a liquor license because I used to teach CME credit to lawyers and dentists and doctors when I had shut down my business when my mom was perforated. So I knew that this liquor license was available. And I knew that somebody was trying to sell it to the guys that purchased the property where Rob Francis is, and they were trying to sell it for $450,000. And I knew that the guys that owned it had it and wanted to sell it for $225,000. I did not make a penny on it, but I talked to the people from Red Horse, the people that are now in bankruptcy, or whatever, Chapter 11. And I said, I'll help you to get rid of it. I am not making a penny from it. I did not, on either end, not then, not now. I went around to everybody in the town that had a restaurant. Who wants it? Who wants it? Nobody wanted it. He wanted it. And that's absolutely the truth. There were other people that wanted to hold it, keep it in their pocket, and maybe one day they're going to sell it for $900,000. And I was like, that's not good because the town needs people eating here instead of going to Morristown. That was my feeling. So I said, you know, this person doesn't want it, that person doesn't want to give it to him. And yes, he has all these things that he should do, like tomorrow, get a dumpster or get garbage people that'll pick it up and take it to the garbage yard in Plainfield, or your cement people. I'll get your guy Miguel that'll come and cement you up tomorrow if it's not raining. Do the things that need to get done, and every time somebody says to do it, do it. You know, you don't have somebody managing you and you think it's fine to just go along and take a little time. It's not okay because it's a restaurant and it's a town and they have rules. But the food is great, and we should have more restaurants because everybody from around here goes to Morristown, or they go into the city, or they go wherever the heck they go, and they're not eating around here. They eat in the Gladstone Tavern, but it's empty at 9 o'clock. And Cafe Azor is always packed, but it's a BYOB. So I don't know. I could maybe give them a little bit of a chance. That's what I think. That's all I have to say. I think this is a great town. I love living here. So. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, may I have a motion second to close the public hearing?
So, second.
Jamie and Eric, when you're ready, second.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Fratello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda? Aye. Councilwoman Weibel? Aye.
Okay, council discussion.
I believe it would be appropriate to give applicants counsel, notwithstanding the comprehensive opening, an opportunity to make a final summation.
My apologies, Mr. Robbins.
That's
All yours.
an apology necessary.
But not one that is repetitive of the opening,
No.
perhaps.
This has been an eye-opener for Martino. I think he now realizes the impact, not being as diligent as he should be. But he's capable. He qualifies for a liquor license. He's earned the opportunity to purchase one, build his business, and have a wonderful relationship with the community. I'm sure he would make a commitment that within 30 days, every issue that is out there will be completed. And he will make a commitment with regard to that, because I've spoken to him about it. He wants to be a good citizen. He doesn't want to have an issue. He's gone through a lot to get to this. You have to do a lot to qualify. You have to work hard and invest the money with regard to it. This is for his family and an opportunity that just doesn't come around. I ask that you grant him the ability so that he can have the liquor license transferred to his company. I think you'll have a great citizen with it.
Wait, before you go. So you suggested that I'm sorry, I'm using the term Mr. Martino, give him 30 days to remediate all the issues that are outstanding, correct?
I'm suggesting that, and I think he can make a commitment for it. The understanding that I would have is that there are other opposite sides to this. So the sellers are apparently under bankruptcy and apparently being pressed to close this deal, and we've made diligent effort to obtain the license. Is it something that we can wait another 30 days to come back before the board?
You know where I'm going.
I know, and I thought about that before. And I would ask that that not be the case, only because outside factors that we're dealing with it. I get a call every week from counsel for the seller. When is this proceeding ahead? This wasn't liquor license to obtain this because of what it was. There's no contingencies with regard to it. He wants to go ahead with regard to it. He would make a commitment, and my other suggestion would be grant him the license. And that if he doesn't comply with what he needs to do, because these are things that should be done, removal of a car, removal of or garbage disposal, get the stairs done and get the ramp done. These are things that should be done within the next 30 days. If he doesn't do it, then there could be fines with regard to it so that it impresses upon him, but give him the opportunity to move ahead so that he can conclude the deal and we don't have a bankruptcy judge to worry about or deal with. And so it's difficult to go back because bankruptcy judges don't care about things. They just want to know that things are closing. And they want to know that the money's being, because there are many people apparently who have made application to obtain the funds when the sale of this property and the sale of the liquor license is done. So I would recommend, and I have that much faith in Mr. Hassan JK, that he will get it done within 30 days because I'll be writing him, number one. And two, I'm going to make sure, because I'll be working with him closely to get it done so that you won't find him coming back and getting in violations. Or if it does, there'll be small things that'll happen at times. But he's going to correct the issues that are presently down now. And he will make a commitment, correct?
Yes.
Well, I would suggest more than that. I would suggest that in 30 days, that if our inspectors come in there, at a set time, and when he is there, and we will get them all there at the same time, or close to it, that place be spit, shine clean, including the basement, and the water issues in the basement, and the freezers, and all the other things that have been listed in those documents. Okay, and upstairs will not look like a bedroom or whatever it looks like now, and that the rear staircase will be in arrears, and all that trash that's infringing on the agrarian buffer will be gone, and that garbage dumpster will not only be repaired, but will be painted and looking like new, and those cars will be gone, and that step will be fixed, and whatever else was in those letters will all be looking fabulous. Then I think that could be at least I would consider that a compromise. I can't speak for my colleagues.
He needs this liquor license. He wants this liquor license. It's necessary for him to go away. He's going to commit to whatever it is. I would just hope that if that is a requirement, that when he comes back, that it will be granted to him. And I would ask that it be even now, that we will grant it provided you don't have these issues when we come back. So now you have an incentive for him and an urgency for him and a promise to him that he will comply and that he will be given the opportunity to proceed.
Counselor, am I speaking out of turn here?
Yeah, I'm just going to advise the governing body that a couple of things. One, the resolution, if and when there's a resolution approving a transfer, it may not be contingent upon future events. That's a legal prohibition. Also, if there were to be a resolution approving a transfer, once approved, a license transfer cannot be reversed. So,
Well, there goes that idea.
if,
Trying to be creative, but we come hand in hand. We're asking for something that on one side he deserves, on the other side, we understand that there are things that he should be doing to clean up and making it nicer and becoming better in the community.
All right, let it go
We wanna
to,
work
let
with
it go to a vote. Counsel, do you concur?
are you, if I may, do you rest?
Maybe one last suggestion with regard to it. I guess we can ask to put off this hearing for your next hearing date, is what you're suggesting. Or I'm not reading tea leaves, but I get an idea with regard to it. I would just ask that if he is compliant, and I guess I can't ask for a commitment, although I would ask for one, but
November 12th.
it's a little bit shorter than 30 days, but he's gonna do things.
Speaking personally, I think seeing a big difference in what we saw last night, I would think that would go a long way. Speaking for myself.
And I'd ask you to adjourn the meeting to November 12th before you make a final decision with regard to it. I don't think we need to publish anything further for the hearing. I think we can just come back on that date unless.
Steve, do you need to publish a new notice for the hearing?
The hearing has commenced already, it is proceeding now, so we do have the authority, in my opinion, if the governing body so desires, to carry without further notice to a date, time, and place certain to continue the hearing. But at that time, it being incumbent upon the governing body, and that is the course the governing body chooses, to permit, again, not only testimony, and reports and what have you, but also, of course, members of the public to have a full and fair opportunity to make comment as well. So in other words, we can't just come back and see where we are, so to speak, at that time. It would have to be a continuation of the full, in my opinion, the full open public hearing.
Again.
So with that caveat, if that's the pleasure of the governing body, then
Governing body.
I believe it can be done.
What's your pleasure, governing body?
I'm fine postponing it and giving Mr. Martino an opportunity to resolve these issues and then go back to it.
I'm fine with that too. Agreed.
Okay. Okay. I have a motion and a second to table this public hearing until November 12th at 7 o'clock p.m.
So moved. At the same location for purposes of announcing to the public, carried without further notice, date, time, and place for continuation of the hearing.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, please.
Second.
Harris and Sergio. When you're ready, Stephanie, a roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rybold?
Aye.
Okay. I don't have a script for this, but I'll read it anyway. This public hearing for liquor license 1815-33-005-015 has been tabled until November 12th, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m., at which time the public hearing And another public comment session will be held.
In this same municipal building.
In this building, yes, at the same location.
Date, time, place.
Okay? Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. So we're obviously going to not hear resolution 175-25. Stephanie, for your records, you know for the next agenda, essentially you're replicating what we have there and then putting this resolution back on.
Gotcha.
Okay? Moving on to 176-25, a resolution authorizing the borough to execute an amendment to the development agreement between the borough and Toll Brothers Inc. A motion and a second, please.
So,
Second.
When you're ready, Stephanie, roll call.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda? Aye. Councilwoman Weibel?
Aye.
Okay, resolution 177-25, authorizing submission of a funding request to the Somerset County Trails Program, grant program for pedestrian bridges. A motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Jamie and Jill. Roll call when you're ready.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Aye.
Councilwoman Weibel?
Aye.
Very good. Resolution 178-25 to approve the construction of tennis and pickleball courts at the municipal complex by Field Turf Inc. in the amount of $520,000.
So moved.
Second.
Eric and Jill. Julie. Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Aye.
Councilwoman Weibel?
Aye.
Anybody notice that Stephanie's very authoritative on the microphone? Okay, let's move on to bills list, resolution 179-25, payment of claims. Does the council have any item that needs to be pulled for discussion on our bills list?
No.
If not, Stephanie, would you read the total amount, please?
Sure, $840,593.29.
Okay, may I have a motion and second to approve resolution 179-25 for the payment of bills?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Aye.
Councilwoman Weibel?
Aye.
Okay, now I'm gonna lump all the council reports into one. Does any committee chair have a council report for us this evening?
No.
No?
I did, but I'll do it next time. I have something to do for next time.
Next time? Okay. Pete? Okay, none. Steve, do you have anything for us?
No. No report, thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, you have anything from Nancy or yourself? Okay, and I have nothing. Okay, the only executive item we have is just to follow up with carrying the thing, and, Stephanie, will you pass on to Nancy and Olu best practices if we could get it up? Okay, now we open up, but I only see two people in the audience. Public comments on agenda items. Would anybody like to comment on agenda items only? Seeing none, I'll close that and we go to adjournment. Does any council member have any further item of business?
No.
Seeing none, then motion second to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed, none. Meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting is, as we said already, Wednesday, November 12th at 7 o'clock.